Hello, everyone. You've tuned into Business Today, and I'm Akanksha. Today, we have with us a very special guest. He's Ankit Wadhwa. He's the co-founder and CEO of Rario. So, welcome, Ankit. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
Okay, so for our viewers who don't know about Rario, could you tell us what Rario is and how it's bringing NFTs and cricket together?
Well, Rario is an officially licensed cricket NFT platform. We have partnerships with some of the biggest cricket boards in the world, including Cricket Australia, New Zealand, and many more. There are more than 6 leagues that we are officially working with, um, all the way from Caribbean Premier League to Abu Dhabi to BBL and several more. There are more than 18 cricketing superstars who are our brand ambassadors. So Radio brings together an ecosystem of several officially licensed partnerships to bring NFTs to our users in very fun and interesting ways. I mean, we call ourselves the ultimate cricket fan club. Um, our our goal is to make sure that cricket fans who so far have been watching the sport on TV have probably got a second screen engagement with the sport as well, with many fantasy products that are there in the market and many others. But with NFTs, the experience changes to becoming a part of the sport, to owning a part of the sport. And that's what radio is focusing on. I'd love to talk a little bit more as we go further into this conversation.
That sounds really exciting when you talk about how you're trying to give fans an experience which is beyond television and, a souvenir of sorts which they can keep for themselves. So, Ankit, could you tell us how radio is trying to give its audience or its users a different experience apart from just collectibles?
So I started the conversation by saying radio is an ultimate cricket fan club. When you own an NFT from Radio, these NFTs are, of course, great collectibles because they are limited edition, they're scarce. And for a fan, that becomes an exciting possession. But that's where the story starts. I mean, the NFTs from Radio are more than being collectibles, they're access cards to bring you into the Radio Club. Within the Radio Club, fans would see opportunities to do many things which so far in the sport have been slightly distant for them, right? We've all seen franchisees building their own teams in an auction, right? And then competing in the likes of IPLs and several leagues globally, right? And then and they are the insiders in the sport. So far, we've been outsiders looking in on that and saying, "Oh, all this is happening," but my association starts when the match begins. Now, with radio, with the NFTs, you could own a part of the sport, you could own player cards of players, and you can build your team similar to how franchisees do it. And the teams that you draft together for yourself, those are the ones that become participants in various games and apps in our Radio Club ecosystem. Right? That's one part of it. So it adds another dimension to cricket fans' engagement with the sport, because so far you were watching, then you were doing things within the last 1 hour before watching because you're making your teams, etc. With many, I mean, with Dream 11 and the likes. But drafting happens all year round. It's between matches. You're still, I mean, when there is a team announcement, certain players become more relevant for you to have on your team versus others. So that's what radio is focusing on. You buy the NFTs, you become a part of the cricket fan club, and there are many things, starting with some games like these and ending with many in real life utilities as well as fans. I mean, we have 18 brand ambassadors now, and there are many more that will be announced over time. And all of these are cricket stars like Rishabh Pant, Virendra Sehwag, and several more. So we'll be announcing many more of our brand ambassadors. Owning the NFTs will give fans also the opportunity to engage with these brand ambassadors. We are calling these, I mean, there are NFTs and then there are utilities. Within utilities, I talked about games. The other side is real life utilities. So if you're a fan, own the NFT. It gives you a possession of pride. It's like a badge of honor that, look, I'm a fan of the sport and a sports person. But beyond that, it gives you something to do with it. It gives you some great games to play, right, with other fans like you. It gives you the ability to engage better with the sport, with the sports person. And over time, you will see many, many more things that you could do. Exactly like a club. Once you're in the club, you will see many things that are targeted towards people who love the sport.
That sounds really lovely, like owning a part of the sport itself, right? So, could you tell us more about how fans can engage with these players which you just mentioned? And I recently came to know that there was a Cheteshwar Pujara NFT as
Mm,
well. So, could you tell our
mm.
fans more about those?
So we will be talking more about this in our communities and on our social media handles. But in principle, as you own an NFT, you get an opportunity to participate in events where some of our brand ambassadors will also be there. You get an opportunity to participate in um, the likes of conversations that would happen pre-match, during match, post-match. But this time you're not watching; you're a part of it. You could be a part of a panel with some of your sports stars, with some of the commentator celebrities, also discussing the sport with you while 100,000 other people are watching. So a lot of those opportunities open up. I mean, owning, as I said, the NFT is not just a badge of honor. It opens up experiences for you, whether that's in the virtual world or in the physical world, which are unmatched. I mean, as mega fans of the sport, like every person on our team loves the sport. So every dimension of what goes into building radio actually comes from this love for saying, look, I would want another engagement with my sport in this manner. Yeah, this is how I want my experience to transition over time. I mean, I know we started by talking about NFTs and collectibles, but they happen to be the technology we use. I think what we are building and what fans should look forward to from radio is a product that just enhances their fandom first. It
Right. So
happens to be an
it's more
NFT
like
because that's a great business fit.
an experience and not just a collectible, right?
Yes, it's utilities, and some utilities are experiential.
So that's really exciting, whatever you've told us so far. But Ankit, do you think that there's a bubble in the NFT marketplaces? We've just seen data from OpenSea. It says that the year-on-year sales of NFTs are dropping every day. So do you think this is a bubble burst, or just a correction, a slowdown, a bump on the road?
I think, like any major revolution, I mean, first of all, we see Web3 not in small instances. We see it as a fundamental change or a new business model that is offered. And that business model is here to stay. This is a business model where it's asset first, it's ownership first, and apps next. So far, the way we've engaged with our digital platforms is we participate in an app or in a game or whatever it is, right? We are first app first, and then you get access to things inside. Now, as you look at what Web3 offers across various technologies, is you own something, and that ownership gives you access to various things that you can do. This fundamental shift in business, or not shift, I would say this new enablement of business is here to stay for sure. And if I could correlate with everything I've talked about so far about radio, this is exactly what you're doing. Owning a radio NFT is a possession. It's an asset that you own, but it opens up access to the radio club and several things that you can do with that. Now, in context of what's happened in the market, well, it is a correction. It is a bubble that is going away. And I think it is only natural and healthy for the ecosystem because fundamentally uh, the new business model is here to stay, but a lot of fluff that had come in into the ecosystem, things that all of us were baffled by on saying, how can this be exaggerated in its pricing? What is happening? This makes no sense. Some of that has settled down, and rightly so. I mean, for the technology to mature, for real use cases to come up and kind of take center stage, some of this had to go away. And I think we are seeing that correction right now in the market. Going forward, I think you will see stronger business models, models that are solving something interesting and exciting for the users. Models that are leveraging this technology for what it should be, right? Which is providing certain assets which give you access. That becoming the predominant um, execution. And I hope we are able to show the light to the industry in that direction as well.
That sounds really insightful, Ankit. I just had one more question. So, is Rario going to shift from cricket to other sports as well? And are there any new partnerships which you would like to tell us about with other leagues apart from cricket leagues?
I mean, cricket is cricket happens to be our central focus. Um, we are a team of Indian origin people, so the sport comes very naturally to us. And I think, I mean, I won't rule out anything else, but that's not our current focus. We want to win one vertical first, and what better than cricket in our parts of the world, which dominates the thinking of all the fans. I mean, there are more than a billion fans of the sport. That's a very large number. This is the second largest sport in the world. I mean, and all these billions of people don't have the same connect with the sport necessarily, because you're in small towns and villages and big towns, but you don't get to access the sport every day, right? So that's where radio can plug in. I think there's a lot to do in cricket. Once we are done with that, I think we'll revisit that question, and I might have more things to share. But as of now, it's all cricket. That's what we are focusing on. That's what we are building.
Thank you so much, Ankit. That was really wonderful. Thank you for joining us and taking out the time. It was really nice talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Akanksha. It's really nice talking to you as well.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share, and subscribe.